I started doing the Making History Together program in 2020 in the midst of the COVID world, and just 10 months later I completed the course and emerged with the knowledge that would stick with me for the rest of my life. When I was 12, I started thinking about what bar mitzvah course I would do. There are so many options and I just didn't know. I could have done Yad Vashem, but that's just like normal, everyone does it. I could have twinned with someone in Israel, but it just still didn't feel right. I wanted to discover something. I wanted knowledge no one else had yet. It needed to be interesting, fresh, innovative. That's when I stumbled across this project. This new thing, I would be one of the first people to do it. I was told there was this hidden bit of history, an area rarely talked about. Of course, I wanted to take part. The Making History Together program is about studying the history of the Belarusian Jewish community and finding out what the Soviets covered up. So, once a month I was sent a package in the mail, and it contained some reading about the session I was about to do and maybe an activity. When actually doing the session, you learn about a specific section of what happened in Belarus, whether it be a story or a specific person. There was always something interesting going on. We were also paired with non-Jewish Belarusians who were learning about this for the first time as well, because unfortunately there's no formal Holocaust education in Belarus. One of the big messages I took from this course was to be an upstander. Never just stand there and let things happen. Being a bystander can be just as bad as being the perpetrator. Another thing that this course teaches you is the history of antisemitism in Eastern Europe, and not just the Holocaust. In Belarus, after the Shoah, the Soviet Union tried to cover up everything that had happened. They tried to forget. But by studying this course, I was part of a group of people who made sure what happened in Belarus would never be forgotten, and the story lives on. Coincidentally, I was able to use my understanding of what an upstander is when I experienced some anti-Semitism after the course. I was playing an online game with a few people who I thought were my friends, but little did I know how horrible they were. In this game, there was something that essentially represents like a gas bomb, and whilst I was playing with them, one of them said, "Let's gas Jake like at Auschwitz." This was unacceptable to me. I explained to them how anti-Semitic and horrible that is, and yet it just didn't seem to faze them. It felt horrible, like they had found something they could use against me, and they just thought it was a joke. Unfortunately, even though I explained to them how bad that was, they just carried on. In school, there were jokes about gassing Jews and the occasional Nazi salute. To them, it was a joke, but for me and others, it went deep. I wanted to go to a teacher and explain what was going on, but I was afraid. One particular boy had made my whole year hate someone because he had snitched on him. I didn't want this to happen to me. One day, I was talking with some friends of mine who understood how bad this anti-Semitism was. They said they would back me up if I stood up to him. That gave me a whole new level of confidence. I went back to this boy when he had done it one too many times, and I said, "Look, if you do that again, I will go to our head of year and you'll have to deal with the consequences. I'm giving you a chance to stop here and apologise." That did it. He stopped. He got scared very quickly. The thing with some people is that they'll assume that others won't stand up to them. He thought I was going to hide away and let him continue. I was an upstander on that day. If I didn't take this course and learn about being an upstander, I don't know what would have happened. That's the power of this course. It has taught me so much and has given me such amazing values that I'm now going to take through life with me. I would strongly recommend the Making History Together program to anyone who's preparing for their bar or bat mitzvah, or even afterwards. And I'd be very happy to answer any questions about it if you want to come and talk to me afterwards.
I think that says it all, right? I'm so proud of you. I mean, the fact that Jake is standing here and it's hard to stand up and speak in public. And we said to Jake, would he like to be an ambassador? Would he speak about the programme? And he said yes. And I didn't know what he was going to say today. So really, you are a real testament to this programme. We didn't know it was going to land the way it has. You make me very proud. I think you make your mum and dad very proud. I think you make everybody here very proud. And I think that speaks volumes, I think, about the programme. So if you have any questions,